Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today I'm going to start out with my bag of words to see what I'm inspired to share. All right, let's see. Shake, shake, shake. Ooh, doubt. Interesting. I'm going to stop right there. Doubt is fascinating. And not that it's fascinating, like, wow, this is like so great. But it is fascinating because it really can show us. It's almost like how deep, the rabbit hole goes. In other words, we feel doubt about things. And when we pause, right, we can really start to peel away the layers, right? Like see deeper into this doubt that we're feeling and learn from it. How we second guess ourselves, how we, going on ahead, how something isn't good enough, perfect enough, presentable enough, it's something, right? Like there's this lack in some way, and then we find ourselves doubting ourselves and not making moves or stepping forward the way we really want to. We'll take small steps, or we won't take any steps at all because we're stuck in doubt about ultimately about ourselves, who we are, our worth, and what we're capable of. And when I say our worth, is right how we see ourselves in relation to what we're worthy of. In other words, if we're thinking, right, we're not good enough and we're doubting ourselves, then we're not worthy. And if we're not worthy, then we're not going to move forward. And if we do, we're sure not going to move forward like with arms wide open. We're going to move forward, slowly or hesitating. And, not that sometimes, taking slow steps isn't a good thing, but there's this hesitation. It's, that's coming from a place of doubt. And that's the stuff, right, that we want to be able to sift it through and understand so that it's not captivating us and guiding us, or stiffening us up. That's how I'm feeling. It's like, holding ourselves back, right? We're not making a move because we're doubting ourselves. So taking the time, right, to start looking at this doubt and learning from it. Everything is teaching us something. It's may not be things that we like, because sometimes when we pause, we may see things about ourselves that may scare us or may bring up shame for us and bring up a lot of other yucky emotions, sometimes may make us even want to cry. But if we run from these feelings and from these emotions, all we're doing is continuing the cycle. We're not breaking the cycle. We're not getting closer to where we want to be, right? And we're doing ourselves a disservice. And in the end, we're really just kind of running from a ghost. Our emotions, are transmutable. They only have the power that we allow them to have. We can actually observe them and notice them as interesting, as opposed to attaching a story to it about who we are and a reflection of what we are, because it's just a story that we are telling ourselves about ourselves. In other words, it's a belief. And that's what we want to start exploring, not necessarily running, because like I said, running isn't going to bring us any closer. And ultimately, we're running from a ghost. It's our shadow side. And we can learn from it. And then the benefit from that, right, is that we can learn to recognize when it's hanging out with us, and we can address it, right? So we could only address it if we know that it's there. And if we're feeling too overwhelmed, right, by even the idea of it, then we start off with slow steps. Just like, wow, I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is interesting. Or I'm doubting myself. This is interesting. And then go right into a breathing exercise, literally just focusing in on your breath, or any other one that you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with. But go into the breath, right? Just notice it, focus on your breath, and then go back to it. In other words, it's not like you notice it and you have to go right in. If that feels comfortable, great. But if you don't, that's okay. Notice it, go into breathing, then go back and explore it, right? It's up to you, but not running from it is what I'm talking about, right? That ultimately really matters, because we can't grow if we're running away from what is trying to teach us, what can give us answers that can help us, right, break free from a situation or from a pattern that isn't working for us and is draining us. All right, so if I go any further, I do want to pick the top card of this deck, which I shuffled, and this is the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The card on top is Replace Fear with Love. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. When you are impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for the words that come from fear. Your mind is only fertile for the words that come from love. I love that. Your mind is like a fertile ground, right? And we want to plant the right seeds, right? And when I say the right seeds, I'm talking about seeds of truth, not seeds from our conditioning, seeds of truth. And that's something, right, that we can explore, because when we look at who we are, right, and we only see through the five senses, we're going to feel the restriction of the five senses. But when we look at and explore who we are and expand outside of that, right, and start bringing in a spiritual perspective to life, now we recognize, right, that there's more to us. And if there is more to us, then there is more than we can create for ourselves, right? And that we don't have to be stuck and continuing, right, a pattern of doubt when there's more to us, right? Because now we could explore, well, what else is there to us? And we can question, right, what else is out there and what else we're believing about a divine existence and how that plays a role in our lives and how that, right, is connected one with, or in whichever way we see it, but that it is there with us at all times, right? And that we aren't walking this journey alone. And if we are, right, have this divine inheritance, then we can question, right, just the fact that we're not good enough in some way, because how can we not be good enough, right? Or how then self-doubt really has a true place in our existence when we have this divine inheritance, right? When we start to tap into who we are on a soul level, right, at our core, at our essence, right, and we start to acknowledge our spirit, then, right, we start to transcend from I'm just this, simple, small human being who's only limited, and who can only do but so much, because I'm just this, human being with this big past, or this hard past, or this traumatizing past, or whatever it is, right, that, we hold on to. And this past that we keep on hanging out with and using it and repeating those old words, right, in our head as to who we are and what we're worthy of and what we're capable of doing. Instead, right, we want to plant seeds of love instead of fear, and we want to grow the seeds of our divine essence, as opposed to growing the seeds of our human psyche, which has been contaminated by all of our experiences and our five senses, and isn't, the ultimate defining truth of who we are. It is, something that, right, we're experiencing, but it's not who we are at our core. And so we want to notice and spend some time, right, exploring and expanding on who we are on a soul level, and breaking out of these old concepts and these old truths that we hold on to about who we are at our core and what we're worthy of based on what we've been through, what we've done, and things of that nature, right? And what we've been through with other people and so forth, and what we said that wasn't nice and so forth. In other words, if we keep on walking around with this, just this linear way of seeing ourselves, and only using our five senses, then we are going to be limited as to how we can expand, and then of what is true about us. And the more we see ourselves as limited beings, the more doubt we will have, and the more doubt we're going to travel with in all areas of our lives. And it's going to spill into our ability, into all areas of our lives, and then into our ability of what we're capable of doing. And in the meantime, or the whole time, we're going around thinking, it's the circumstances that is the problem. But in reality, it's our perspective about ourselves and what we're choosing to plant or say, and the words that we're choosing to use about ourselves that's hurting us, not so much the situation. The situation will change the moment we change, meaning the moment we start planting different seeds, we're going to get different crop. And until then, right, we're not going to be able to see the fruits and really see, right, what we're really capable of, and really live from a more expansive, point of view, because we're stuck in the old. So we want to shift from that, right? We want to plant new seeds and grow new crops. And build from there, and use that for our journey, and start noticing, right? And slowly but surely, we're going to start noticing that things are changing for us. But this is not, happening, just by chance. It is something that we're cultivating, and something that we're growing, and something that's helping us expand, because we're shifting from fear to love. And if we cultivate love, and if we cultivate trust, then we're going to start, seeing the fruits of that labor and shifting from the old stuff. So I'm going to end with that. I hope that this video helps you in some way. If it did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about other stuff that I'm doing, you can check out the description down below. And it has all the information about my website and so forth. So, that's pretty much about it. All right. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.